Oh, wow.
That's vintage.
Vintage homes are red hot.
How cool is this old school refrigerator?
These are absolutely great. That's vintage to me.
Instead of cookie-cutter construction, home buyers are snapping up hip and historic.
This obviously was the original kitchen. It's priceless.
From colonials to Queen Anne's, hand-carved paneling and turrets are the hot new items.
You want vintage? This is it.
It may need some repair work.
May? I think it does.
Greg and Lance are looking for a very historic, very San Francisco house.
Ooh, great wallpaper.
Yeah.
That's great San Francisco history.
I find that fascinating.
But while Greg wants to avoid a big remodel,
You could move in and use this kitchen right away.
You could.
Lance is ready to demo anything that's not true to the era.
It's definitely not original.
Yeah, I would tear this out.
But when you're looking for vintage in one of the most expensive cities in America,
It's listed for $2,995,000. I know that's over budget.
That's a lot of money.
your budget could go up in flames.
Oh, gas. This is still gas.
Keep that away from me.
That's actual gas coming out of that light.
Where?
I'm Greg, and I am corporate counsel for a Silicon Valley software company.
And I'm Lance. I'm responsible for rolling out the systems and technology that support the online business, and we live in San Francisco.
One, two, three.
We have a daughter. She is 4. She is the funniest woman we know.
She's the light of our life, but she completely owns us.
Hey, you can't overdraw it. That'll make it messy.
Oh, it will too. That's right.
Lance and I both grew up in places that had a lot of historic homes. I grew up in the South. It was antebellum, Georgian mansions with columns and capitals. That feel, to me, has always resonated.
I love vintage because of the history. I grew up in Wellington, New Zealand, and I grew up with fairly solid British values. And as a result of that, I've always been interested in the expansion of the Commonwealth and the influence that the architecture has made on homes around the world. But also, I've been restoring houses now for about 20 years. I really enjoy bringing back that character as we remodel the house to more modern and functional purposes.
This old fire engine house is one of the ones built after the 1906 earthquake, and it's the last one that was built for horse and carriage. I wonder if it's up for sale.
Wouldn't that be great?
In 1906, San Francisco was a cosmopolitan city of 400,000 people, dotted with lavish Italianate, Queen Anne, and stick Victorian homes. But on April 18th, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit, leveling homes and rupturing gas mains. As a result, fires burned for 4 days, leaving 3,000 dead, 80% of the city destroyed, and over half of the residents homeless. But the spirit of San Francisco couldn't be broken. Temporary housing went up around the city, and it began to rebuild. And much of that rebuilding remains today.
A large amount of construction happened after that period.
And it's retained it for a really long time. It has whole neighborhoods where every house is over 100 years old.
So why don't you guys tell me about your budget?
I think we're looking at like between 1.8 million and 2.5.
All right, so what kind of styles do you like?
We don't need too much embellishment, but we do want to have some character. Some of these houses here, they've got shingles on the outside, they've got dental molding. We like that a lot.
So you definitely go for the Victorian feel.
Yeah.
We'd be open to like a Mediterranean style.
Okay.
As long as it's vintage, we're probably going to be happy.
Okay. What kind of details inside are you looking for?
You know, a house that maybe has some stained glass windows in it, pocket doors, original flooring, maybe some great old vintage light fixtures in there.
A backyard is a must. That's for Sophie. And parking's really tough in the city, as you know, so I think we need a garage.
Okay. How many bedrooms, bathrooms?
We need at least 3 bedrooms, and we desperately need 2 bathrooms.
And condition?
It's hard to live in a house that's under construction with a little one, so
Right.
we're hoping to avoid that if we can.
I'm not. I'm perfectly fine with the idea of living in the construction site.
Okay.
So.
You guys are gonna make me earn my money on this one.
Yeah.
First up is a home in the Lower Haight District, built before the Great Quake.
It's beautiful Victorian Italianate. It was built in 1890, and then it was purchased by a man named Michael O'Shaughnessy in 1894. He was a chief engineer for San Francisco, and he also set up the municipal transportation lines and a lot of the tunnels and the San Francisco grid itself.
So I love the fact that it's so connected to San Francisco's history. I was fascinated about the stories that Zara told us about who had lived in the house before. Being an engineer myself, it sort of connects me directly to the history of this house. But what's more impressive to me, it was built 16 years before the 1906 earthquake, which was a very transitional time for San Francisco. So there's a lot of history that this old girl has seen from her windows.
It's listed for $2,995,000. I know that's over budget.
That's a lot of money.
However, it's been on the market for a really long time, so we have a chance to come in and give a lowball offer.
Oh, that might work.
Wow.
These big double doors. Beautiful staircase, banister.
This here is Lincrusta wallpaper. They have it in a lot of Victorian homes because it was very easily cleanable.
It's amazing.
It's like a linoleum.
Great piece of detail.
Yeah. You guys want to check out the double parlor?
Yeah, huge.
Wow, this
Yeah.
is a big room.
It
Yeah.
is.
Lance, I know you're a huge history buff, so you'll love this. There was another owner, his name was Rex May, and he was an art collector of Latin American works. And when he passed away, a lot of the work was taken to the Mexican Museum of Art, and they actually replicated this room to hold a lot of his artwork.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I think this house is definitely my style. It has picture railings, it has a classic frieze and 14-foot ceilings and 10-foot doorways and lots of moldings, and there's a fireplace. It has all the detail that you want.
This is the dining room. Again, great.
Ooh, great wallpaper.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they've got fruit in the wallpaper here as well.
Well, the fruit actually matches the plaster medallion up there, and oftentimes they would have what the room was used for in the medallion, so you can see there's fruit showing that you would be eating in here.
Yeah.
It's a great accent.
Let's take a look into the kitchen.
Wow.
This room is really heavily influenced by Rex May. He brought a lot of the Spanish influences in the tile.
Yeah, not loving the floor. It's not really period to the house.
You could move in and use this kitchen right away.
You could.
Yes.
I'd have to tear the floor up because it would just get at me.
They take a look at the breakfast nook and the library room, then head upstairs to explore the rest of the house.
This is a good-sized suite. I don't know what that room is. Do you?
It's an interesting room. It's got a lot of ornamentation and a lot of woodwork.
Well, it has lattice work on the inside. This seems like it would have been outside at some point.
They look at the 2 guest bedrooms
Oh, it's a good size for a little girl, huh?
and the second full bath,
This wood bath surround, crazy.
then head outside to see the backyard and guest house.
Great yard.
That's a beautiful fountain. This is a sanctuary back here.
It's beautiful.
Tell me what you guys think.
The price is still up there.
But it's a big house. I really love that this has our vintage style, but the renovated kitchen that we are looking for, so that's good.
You know, I like to tell a story, and I think the references you made to the owners,
O'Shaughnessy and
to-
Rex May, that's great San Francisco history.
I find that fascinating.
But since price was a concern, their agent is taking them to see a home that's both vintage and more affordable.
The listing price is $1,295,000.
Wow, that's a good price.
Yes.
Way under budget.
Yes.
Imagine these coming into the country through the ferry building.
You know, they remind me of big old steamer trunks.
Oh, totally. $1,250 for one trunk.
Greg and Lance are looking to buy a vintage home in San Francisco, California, with a max budget of $2.5 million. They've already seen an 1890 Victorian with great vintage details, but it was over their budget.
This next house I'm showing you guys is in Mount Davidson, the highest peak in San Francisco, so you get phenomenal views from the entire house.
Oh, that's great.
So today, their agent is taking them to see a home that's not only vintage, but also less taxing on their budget.
It's a Spanish colonial home built in 1936. I decided to show Greg and Lance this property because it has a lot of features that they're both looking for. They also really wanted vintage. This might not be Victorian vintage, but this home represents a huge part of the architecture in San Francisco. The listing price is $1,295,000.
Wow, that's a good price.
Yes.
Way under budget.
Yes, so you can really customize it to what you guys like. All right, let's take a peek.
Wow. It's a very typical example of Spanish revival. And the archways are great. It's amazing that it's still in such great condition. They've obviously kept a lot of the original detail.
Right.
Ironwork on the door is very typical of the period as well. Peephole. Hello.
Who's there?
Let's go in the living room. Parquet floors throughout.
You know, I always thought the windows were sort of arched.
These ones are triangular to balance out the room.
It lets in tons of light, and look at the view. You can actually see the Pacific out there. This Spanish colonial is completely my style. I have been asking Lance to buy a Spanish colonial house for almost 10 years. It looks comfortable, it looks homey, and it feels very California to me, whereas some of the other styles don't. This is a really big dining room, too, for this house. This house doesn't look this big from the outside.
You know, again, the vertical windows with the latches, I'm actually kind of liking this. If this one actually opens.
That's right. You can work on that, Lance. You need a project anyway.
A nudge.
The kitchen doesn't look terribly original.
No, it's definitely not original.
Yeah, I would tear this out. I would bring back the Catalina terracotta tiling on the floor that was very typical for this era. I really think putting something in that reflects the era of this house is absolutely critical. I would push the whole kitchen down to that end of the room.
I know Lance does not like the kitchen. I don't love it either, but it's usable, and we could live in this house right away without having to do an enormous reno.
I found my project.
Where are we gonna cook?
So we're getting somewhere here, you guys.
They take a look at the first floor bath,
Very vintage.
Vintage is a great word for this.
then make their way upstairs to explore the first guest bedroom, the second full bath, and the master bedroom.
I love the sitting nook.
Oh, I do too. And look, it's got a fireplace,
Your
Lance.
fireplace.
That fireplace
That is great. And you can sit here, you can see the entire Pacific Ocean.
They explore the in-law suite downstairs,
perfect.
Isn't it?
This is really useful.
then make their way to the backyard.
It's a little smaller than we've seen in other houses.
But with that kind of budget to play with, we could easily turn this into a great backyard for her.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So let me know, what kind of elements about this house did you like?
It has parquet floors and archways and a lot of the things that I really react to.
Yeah, you know, I think at the price point, there's really nothing you can really say bad about the house. We just need to think about how big a project we want to take on.
Yeah.
So now, their agent's taking them to see a home that's a blast from the past.
The style is more Queen Anne.
Oh, wow.
This is a great foyer.
Yes.
Which of the following is not a type of Victorian-style home? A, Second Empire, B, shingle, or C, mission? Which of the following is not a type of Victorian-style home? The answer is C. Mission is a type of arts and crafts-style home.
What is this old cart?
This is an old fish cart. It would literally just walk up and down the streets and yell out that they had fish for sale.
Wouldn't it be fun in a big backyard for Sophie to play in?
That's a great idea.
She could peddle fish in the local neighborhood for us.
With a max budget of $2.5 million, Greg and Lance are looking to buy a vintage home in San Francisco, California. They've already seen an 1890 Victorian with lots of space and vintage details, but it was over their budget. They also looked at a 1936 Spanish colonial that is under budget, but may require a lot of renovation.
So now we're in Noe Valley, which was not impacted by the fires of 1906.
Earthquake refugees set up camp in Noe Valley, and the area developed quickly in the years just after the quake with Victorian and Edwardian homes.
So what you get in this neighborhood is a lot of vintage details.
Today, their agent is taking them to a 1908 Queen Anne Victorian she hopes will be the perfect compromise between price and projects.
Oh, wow.
It was built in the Edwardian time in 1908. The style is more Queen Anne.
I would say this home is definitely my style. It's Victorian, but it's not over embellished. I don't like the fussy. I like the simplicity, but it's really grand. It has a full second floor on it. I like the fact that it's a limey green with sort of a burnt red door. Dental molding, but what worries me the most about this house is there is no garage, no parking.
No parking, so
Yeah.
I know that was one of your big must-haves, but it's listed for $1.6 million.
So that's a good opportunity.
That it is. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
This is a great foyer.
Yes.
That's nice.
That looks great.
Absolutely. You've got a gorgeous brass chandelier with a plaster molding, which was typically in all the formal rooms to wow your company. Come on into the living room. What do you think of these bay windows?
They're great. Look at that, houses on a hill. That's very San Francisco.
And what about this
Yes.
fireplace?
Beautiful, isn't it?
Great Doric columns with dental molding across the top.
You guys know your details.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about these vintage Victorian homes, pocket doors.
Yeah.
Pocket doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got beautiful hardwood floors.
It looks like it may need some repair work.
May? I think it does.
Now let me show you the kitchen.
Oh, God.
As I walk into the kitchen, I'm like, okay, what just exploded in here?
This wallpaper looks like scratch and sniff blueberries and strawberries.
Yeah.
Oh, gas. This is still gas.
Keep that away from me.
Oh, I can smell it. That's actual gas coming out of that light.
Yeah.
That is an unusual feature in the house.
It feels like a little toxic environment. What is this room down here?
Ah, the chapel room.
The ceilings aren't even finished. The floor is brick. That's
Yeah.
all so odd.
It almost reminds me of an earthquake cottage that were used after the earthquake to house people that were displaced. Maybe it was on the site before the house was built.
Yeah.
They head up to the second floor to see the first guest bedroom and the full bath, then make their way into the master bedroom.
Nice.
With another beautiful fireplace.
Oh, God, that's great. That's a beautiful period detail.
It's great. Looks like there might have been a wall here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's really hard to identify why the master bedroom is the layout it is. So I'm worried about the amount of structural work, but I do think it has amazing views over the rest of Noe Valley. That's the back of Dolores Heights, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Oh, lovely.
The best thing is you've got a huge backyard.
It's so quiet out here.
This is exactly what we are looking for. This is the size, this is the flatness, this is the kind of open space that Sophie needs. It's exactly our style. It's vintage, vintage, vintage. All the details, the ceiling medallions, the live gas in the kitchen, which is a little crazy. What I don't like, it doesn't have parking, which is really hard in the city.
I know Greg and Sophie are not going to live through a 2-year renovation and a little scared by the amount of volume of work.
Now that Greg and Lance have seen several vintage homes, they have a tough decision to make. With each of the properties checking off a number of their wish list items, it may come down to price and the amount of projects they're willing to take on.
So how would I make you a deal?
What would that be?
Check out Hunting Vintage Central for more classic homes, vintage decorating ideas, and more at hgtv.com/huntingvintage.
I feel like it's time for us to really sit down and make a decision.
I think you're right.
With a max budget of $2.5 million, Greg and Lance are about to decide which vintage home to buy in San Francisco.
The Italianate that was listed for $2.995 million.
That was the 4-bedroom, 2-bath, great backyard.
Beautiful classic frieze in the front room.
Double bay windows in the front.
Yeah, I mean, that was a spectacular piece of vintage property.
That kitchen is definitely not original to the building.
Yeah, but it's a brand new kitchen. We wouldn't have to do anything to it.
But then where would my project be?
Let's talk about that Spanish colonial house.
The price on that was 1.295
Yeah,
million.
yeah.
Much lower than where we were coming in at. So
Yeah.
it gives us a lot of extra money to look at renovations.
You're gonna wanna redo that kitchen, aren't you?
That kitchen's definitely coming out.
But the views were amazing in that house.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so the Queen Anne listed at 1.6 million. It had an original fireplace, it had the original staircase, it had the original floors, bronze light fixtures.
With both the electric and gas features, some still intact.
It was spectacular.
But that kitchen, 1950s, that's a renovation project that would have to happen pretty quickly.
But I couldn't live in that house while those were being redone. They were in such bad shape.
So how would I make you a deal?
What would that be?
If we decided on the Queen Anne, I would suggest that what we do is we do all of the renovations at once and we move back in, and I promise that it'll be the house of your dreams.
Style-wise, that house was perfect for us. So if we can make that deal.
I think I can make that house something you'll be very proud of when we're finished on that project.
All right.
So I think, Greg, this is how we're going to keep the facade very much original.
The house was listed at 1.6.
And we did have two competitive bids up against us, and we were right at the same price level as the cash buyer that had fallen out of contract.
The previous offer had been for 2.3 million, so we just matched the previous offer that they'd accepted, knowing that that was a price they were comfortable with.
And it was accepted within about 48 hours. So you think I can do this quickly enough for you?
I don't know, but I really hope so. I'm holding you to your word.
Then let's get it done.
It's a really beautiful house. But I don't think that we realized how bad some of the rooms were, really, that we had taken on. The kitchen is pretty bad, and the bathrooms are pretty bad. And we couldn't turn some of the lights on, and we kept blowing the fuses out.
We ate dinner under the gas lamps because all of the lights didn't work.
We did. We did.
But we love those features, the coved ceilings, the pocket doors that separate the rooms.
The fireplaces are terrific.
And I still can't get away from that foyer. You feel like you're entering a piece of history. What are your next steps?
We've just submitted our plans, so it might take a few more months to get the plans approved. And then Greg has required that I get this project done really fast. So we're going to be moving out for a few months while the work gets done.
I think what's most important to us is making sure that we preserve the integrity the original builders had so that we can be the custodians for the next phase of this old girl's life. And it gives Sophie a sense of neighborhood, a sense of family, and to be part of her new history in San Francisco.
Yeah, she'll be proud of that for a long time.
She may be the next custodian for this house.
I pulled it and the stalk broke and I got it.
Oh, perfect. That's how you get a whole bunch of flowers.